Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. My name is Freda Lynette, and I am so happy that you found my channel. Guess what? I don't even know the full gamut of what I'm going to do on this channel, but I know this is part of my journey to just love life and just understand things better about life. And I'm doing this so that anybody that sees this may see some inspiration and do the same. So with that, a little bit about myself. My name is Freda. I am born and raised in the south suburbs of Chicago. What brought me here is just trying to save my children's life. And I say this because both of my children have struggled with some mental health illnesses. And just to put into some reference of timing, this is currently February 2025. I have a 17-year-old daughter and I have a 28-year-old daughter. My biggest concern is my 17-year-old daughter, who has struggled with some mental health issues for the last several years. First diagnosed when she was in 8th grade, and she's now a junior in high school. She's had 3 hospitalizations. She's been diagnosed with anxiety and major depression. Working on getting her evaluated to find out a few more things that I see may be an issue. Brilliant girl, bright, smart, sweet, loving, all of that. But she struggles. 2024 was a year where I struggled a lot with many things, from health to career, finances. A lot of things hit me in 2024. And in 2024, I said to myself, Freda, I'm trying to figure out, like, if you want to save your daughter, you got to save yourself. I had to start with me. So here I am, 2025, trying to fix me so I can fix her. But fixing me meant that I have to understand what about me I need to fix. What's wrong with me? What are some things I could have done better? Did she inherit these mental health issues? Did I not show her enough love? Like, what was it that I could have done that could have changed the trajectory of her life? I can't change the past, but I can move forward into the future. After a couple of years of therapy, and my therapy for myself really wasn't about her, it was more about relationship with my significant other. That was short-lived, but I stayed with the therapy because I just really wanted to understand myself better. Through all of this, what I really uncovered about myself is I do have struggles, like most people, and I kind of normalized it by saying most people have struggles, so it's okay for me to have struggles. I don't know if I necessarily believe that still or not, but I will say this. I have to face them, say them out loud, face the fear that goes along with them if I'm going to move forward. So this video is a moment of me to be vulnerable, to let go of 35 plus years of mental torture that I've created for myself. And I don't care if one person sees this or a million people sees this, but I have to get this off so that I can move forward. Again, and I'm not to minimize what I've been through. I'm not about to say something super profound. I'm not about to say something that, like, oh my God, this woman had a traumatic childhood. I had a dramatic childhood, I would say, but I wouldn't say necessarily trauma, depending on who you ask. But here goes. First, I'm going to talk about, who am I? This question comes up a lot. How would you describe yourself? Who are you? I already said I'm Freda from the south suburbs, middle-class family. Lived in a home with mom, dad, sister, brother. I'm the middle child. I do have older half siblings, but we didn't grow up in the same house. So I'm gonna start with my background. My mom and dad were working class people, but they did well for themselves. We always lived in decent homes and all of that. Never wanted for anything. Went away to college. Went to Illinois State University. I had a child at 17. I graduated from high school, walked across the stage pregnant, had my daughter a month later in 1996. And by August of 2007, I was going away to college with my daughter. Went away to college, raised her on the campus, got my degree, came back home, had good jobs, went to school some more. I worked in the insurance industry, both auto and title insurance. Eventually moved into the education system as a teacher, got a master's degree, got a couple of master's degrees, and currently work in administration and education. I know you're like, you just gave us your resume. Did you really tell us anything about you? And that's my struggle. Who am I? What am I? How did I get here, and what do I aspire to be? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my attributes? Those are tough ones for me. What do I consider myself to be defined by? Motherhood. Although I was a decent mother, I am a better mother now. I had a child young. I had a great life, had fun, and raised my kids while I was growing up myself. But nonetheless, I'm a mother, a loving mother, and aunt. I could be a better aunt, decent aunt. How else would I describe myself? I would say I'm caring, although some people say I don't show it. I show care through probably giving, not necessarily always showing up for people when they need them, because I can be kind of unthoughtful. Like, your parent passed, I might send you a text, or I might mean to send you a text and never send you a text. I'm not one that checks up on people a lot. I'm not one that calls a lot, texts a lot. How else would I describe myself? Except my sister. I talk to my sister almost every day, and one of my best friends too. I would say I'm a thinker. I'm a seeker of knowledge. That's why I go to school so much. I have no problem for paying for information, even if it puts me in debt. I will go down YouTube rabbit holes just to try to understand life and my body and things like that. Let's see. I would say sometimes I'm creative. I have a t-shirt business, and I create a lot of designs. Even though I'm not a graphic designer, I'm good at Canva and kind of get an idea of what people like, and making pictures and of what they like for my t-shirt business when they're not able to design things themselves. I'm a minimizer. I minimize my success a lot. Like, even though I listed my resume of, schooling, education, careers, you'll never hear me talk about any of that. You wouldn't know that if you knew me. You wouldn't know I had a big house or a decent car. Like, you wouldn't know any of that about me, because that's not, I don't really talk about my success. I almost said I own a small t-shirt company, because again, I'm a minimizer. I stop myself in my head to say stop minimizing things. I created a wine company that was successful for many years, but I would minimize it and say I'm a bootlegger. So it's not, I never got to the stage of legalizing it. I never really followed through. Nonetheless, half of Chicago was drinking Black Legacy wine. I would say things like, anybody could do this if they put their mind to it. But it's like, but everybody don't want to. They'd rather let somebody else do it and buy it. Just like I could cook if I want to every day, but I'd rather somebody else do it sometimes, and I just buy it. But I minimize things. I minimize a lot of things. But here's the one thing about me that I'm okay with the world knowing. And that is my perception of myself physically, and how it has hindered me throughout my entire life. I've struggled with weight most of my life. As young as I can remember, I would say maybe about 10-ish is the youngest I remember not liking my body. I was a average size kid, maybe a little bigger than average because I did grow up in the 80s and 90s. But when you looked at most kids and they're teeny tiny, most little girls are just super tiny. I looked at myself and I said, oh my God, look at my knees, they're so big. Or, oh, look at my arms, they're so big. And I remember as young as like 10 years old, not wanting to wear shorts or not wanting to wear a tank top. I was worried about my body image at a young age. When I graduated high school, I was about 17. I was 17 when I graduated high school. I remember in college, my early years of college, I truly remember the stress of wearing a dress with no sleeves and things like that. I always wear those little duster things that come here to cover my shoulders. Always had to be covered with one of those shrugs is what they call it, a shrug. I had a baby and I was about 178, 180 pounds, which was still kind of hefty in the 90s. I graduated high school in 96. So it's still it's a little decent amount of weight, especially for me not to be like a shapely woman with hips and things like that. The heaviest weight I recall being I was 297 pounds. I remember my second daughter was born in 2008. And I remember going to Weight Watchers not long after I had her, and I was 297 pounds. I have a history going to Weight Watchers. I was going to Weight Watchers right out of college, so probably 2000, early 2000s, I was going to Weight Watchers. Back then, I was probably about 230 pounds. Fast forward to today, my baseline weight hovers around 277 pounds without any effort. Last year, I went on a cruise and my body was so swollen. It was early March. On the cruise, when I got off the cruise, when I got home and I made a doctor's appointment, and I believe I was like 290 pounds or so then. So I had gotten that high. But I was so inflamed. I was in so much pain. And especially my feet and my ankles were like sore all the time. She introduced me to a podcaster, she might be a doctor. I think she is a doctor, Dr. Mindy Pales, Fast Like a Girl. And she told me to try fasting and she would give me some weight loss pills, blah, blah, blah. She tried to give me Zepbound too, but my insurance wouldn't pay for it. So what I learned from Mindy Pales, I always knew about the fasting lifestyle. My mom was diabetic, so we knew all about like the 16-8 fasting. Didn't know much about it, but how it can control your blood glucose levels. I'm not a diabetic, so I'm not super versed on, how that all works. But in reading Mindy's books, I ended up on her channel and just learning about things like autophagy, cortisol spikes, hormones, and things like that, and fasting for, how and why and for different reasons. I was able to lose a little weight, but I wasn't able to sustain it, which is typical for me, because I've done a lot of programs, fitness workouts. Downs Fitness is one of my favorite, out of Park Forward. Shout out to those, to Lindsay over there. I'm sorry, Lindsay and Andrea Downs. Worked out with them for years. When I'm on, I'm on. I can lose the weight when I'm with them and I'm dedicated, I'm in the mindset. But when I'm off, I just have a hard time getting back on. And so I'm yo-yoing. And I use my Fitness Pal to see the yo-yo over the years as well. And it's just very, it's sad. Because I've even had a weight loss surgery back in maybe 2018, 2017. I can remember back then having foot problems, ankle swelling, hurt. And I remember me and my boyfriend and some friends went to New Orleans, and I'm faking the funk, bought me some good Nikes, but I could barely walk. My ankle was so on fire, inflamed. So fast forward to 2024. Yeah, that doctor introduced me to the fasting life in another level. Made some strides. But at that time, I was thought I wasn't happy on my job. I was trying to switch jobs. I did switch jobs, but in the interim, I was seeing a podiatrist and learned that I had stage 4 arthritis in my left foot. And I learned that like the day I was leaving one job and going to the next. Around that time, I had to have a tooth pulled, and you know, they don't want to pay for you to have gas and all that anymore. So they, you know, they numb you up real good. They pull the tooth and they give you these nice little medicine cocktails to keep for the pain. So in my head, I'm thinking, not correlating that my foot feels better because of all the pain meds I'm on because of this. When I finally came off of those pain meds, I'll never forget, I was going to a friend's birthday party and could hardly walk into the building to this party. And I'm having on these shoes, and they're not the highest sandals, and everybody's dancing, and I'm hurting dancing, and my foot is on fire. So yeah, I made an appointment, and then I said, let me go see what this is. And it ended up saying it was stage 4 arthritis. I'm in rehab. I'm starting a new job, and I got to tell them I got to leave to go to rehab. Working in rehab, trying to strengthen my ankle, all of that. Both of my ankles, because this time, both of my ankles are hurting. It's not just one, so that's why I had to get the help. I couldn't rely on the other one. Took this new job, more money. I wanted to advance my career in the realm of special education, so I thought, hey, I could learn a lot from this job, blah, blah, blah. Get on this job, and I'm like, what the hell did I just do? It was just so much work, so stressful. It was so stressful and so much work that I felt like I was never caught up, right? So one Saturday night, I'm just sitting at my dinner table, and you know, when you're stressed, you got to drink, right? So I'm having a drink a night at this point at home, pouring something on my bar. When I'm sitting at my table on Saturday night, I think I was eating dinner and drinking liquor. But I ain't an alcoholic because I only have one drink. I only drink one drink a night, so I'm not alcoholic. I was going to happy hour every week at Friday with my co-workers for my last job, all of that. But anyway, I'm like, it's Saturday night, and I'm really thinking about, you know, work. I could be doing some of this work now. No, I can do it tomorrow because I want to get caught up for Monday. This is what's going through my head, and I didn't think nothing of it. It's Saturday night, 9 o'clock at night. Next thing you know, I'm feeling heavy. Can't breathe. My daughter's downstairs, so I don't want to alert her. She already got her own issues. So I sneak upstairs to my room and I lay flat on my chest. And I'm crying and I'm breathing hard. I can't catch my breath. And I said, I know what this is because I've had them a couple times before, and I usually have them when I'm directly in a stressful situation and I'm doing something and it's a lot. I'm like, this is an anxiety attack. So I'm like, should I call my therapist? Should I call 911? Am I going to get through this? Because I'm like in this state of panic for like at least 5 minutes. And I'm like, is this what a heart attack feels like? What the fudge? So probably a couple minutes after that, I'm just calling on the Lord. Help me through. I catch my breath and it passes. So I get on my doctors. My doctors are all at the University of Chicago. So I'm in my chart like, let me find my doctor, a doctor that can see me about this and give me some help. And then I'm like, but should it be a mental health doctor or a primary care doctor? But I ended up making an appointment with my primary care. See him a couple of days later. He's like, just talking to me casually. What do you do for a living? You know, la 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 la. Special education, blah blah. He's like, I know. No wonder why you're having anxiety attacks. My wife's a teacher. And, you know, a lot of my clients are teachers. So in his head, this is the nature of education, right? And he's like, and you're concerned about your weight and your ankle. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to prescribe you such and such medication. It'll help you with your anxiety. And it's designed for people with addiction, including eating disorders. So it'll help you in 2 ways. And then I'm going to prescribe you the second medication. And that'll help you if you're still feeling anxiety on the spot, pop one of these and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to send you some labs, get some labs done. Get the labs. Check my chart a few years later. And it gives me this diagnosis. Lord forgive me what they call it. But I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm looking it up and I'm like, it's the fancy doctor's term for like high cholesterol. So I got fatty arteries, whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, shoot. You better get yourself in order. You on medication for anxiety. You got high cholesterol. You 277 pounds. Your knee tickling a little bit. Your ankle's hurting. Your kids messed up. Your relationship is a mess. How am I gonna fix this? I said, self, you got to start taking care of yourself. My whole life has been dedicated to taking care of other people. I was a mother at 17. I went into service fields for career. I'm taking care of other people's kids and needs and solving people's problems. My current job, I sit at a table every day and solve other people's problems, but can't solve my own. And on top of it, when I look at my daughters, especially my younger one, there's a weight issue there too. So she's wearing all of my illnesses that I handed down to her, and she's much younger than me. I said, you got to get yourself together, Freda. So now I'm still in therapy. Now we got to curtail therapy to get my life in order. January 6, 2025. My boss always invites me to church. She'll send me, the live streams, videos and stuff. Send me scriptures when, she's at church and they say something profound because she knows everything about my life. She'll send it to me to encourage me. She's just like this angel on earth, right? Dr. Ayanna Harris. Don't forget her. Dr. Ayanna Harris. She's like this angel on earth. Strong, tough, but God. I go to New Faith Baptist International Church this day. I take my daughter with me. She's in the back seat and she's just like anxious. I'm like, what's wrong? I don't know. She's nervous about going to church, y'all. Yes, she got anxiety and depression, but it's me and her. She's nervous about going to church. And in my head, I said, Lord, whatever spirit has gotten a hold of her is nervous right now. They don't want her ASS to walk up in them doors. I live around the corner from the church. We get to the church. Walk in, find a seat. She looks so uncomfortable. Now, I ain't been to church in years, and I walked in and found a seat, and I said, oh, this is comfortable. Like, I like the vibe in here. It's a pretty nice-sized church. My daughter is so anxious throughout this sermon. She pulls out Play-Doh before I know it, and I guess she's been taught that that's a fidget that she uses for anxiety, and she just Play-Doh. Just nervous. And I said, oh, this spirit in here, and she can't handle it. So when they called people down to also to join the church and accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and my child has never done that. I look at her and I said, you want to join the church? And she's like, she didn't say no, but she's like nervous. I said, let's join. So I took the lead and grabbed her hand and walked down to the front. My daughter bawls out crying. She cannot stop crying uncontrollably. The church, you know, pastor says you take, accept God. Yeah. She does all of that. We join the church. We go to eat breakfast afterwards because we're starting a fast with the church. January 6, 2025, my daughter got saved. On January 26, 2025, the next day, we started a fast, a 7-day fast with the church. That day moving forward, I knew that I had to work harder on me and my relationship with God if I was going to save her. She should not have felt that uncomfortable. The relief she felt afterwards, like something had been taken off of her. I was in a fight against all the worldly things my whole life. And I'm walking alone trying to figure this out. I didn't have kids. And I'm walking alone. Now walking in faith. Now walking with the Holy Spirit. Just walking along. Do. What? And I wonder why my children have been under attack. I'll save the story about my oldest daughter for another day. Because both of my kids were attacked spiritually. That day I knew that if I was going to free my daughter from whatever bondage she's under, and it got real dark for her, and I'll say that for another video too, some of the signs that I missed or I kind of took as she'll grow out of it, she'll get over it. Because now I'm looking at kids that look like her, and they walk in death. And the parents are probably like me, they'll get over it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Now without you. My whole life, I've chased happiness, thought I could find it in success. Because one thing I am is pretty successful, even if it is just working a career. I'm smart. I got, I got a nice head on my shoulders, got a big head and big brain. But what I was not, which I thought I was spiritual and faith-based. And I didn't know how to cover my children. And as evil grows in this world, it's hard to fight these I hate using the word demons because people hate that word and it's off-putting. But how do you battle the demons of the world? The ones that you can see and the ones you can't. And when they enter us or our children, we don't see them for what they are. And I have my own demons. And my biggest one, I just learned about myself last week. Literally last week, why I'm having a struggle I have is because of my self-image. And worried about what other people think of me. I'm 277 pounds and 5'7". I'm letting go of the fact that people might have something to say about my weight. I know it's a problem. I'm working towards fixing it. But part of the block here why I can't fix it is because of my mindset and not understanding how the mind, body, and spirit are aligned. And now I'm passing these self-image issues on to my kids, or I have. To this day, you won't catch me in a tank top. The last time I wore a tank top was on vacation. I was in Jamaica maybe 3 years ago. And I was intentional about it then because I was working on some healing then, and that was one of the challenges. And I wore a tank top over my swimsuit when we went on the rafting. And there's pictures of it, and I'm going to post that picture on my social media too. But I'm going to stop being ashamed of myself. Stop being ashamed of my arms, my oversized breast, my belly, Worried about what people think. 90% of people ain't thinking about it anyway, and the 10 that are, to hell with them. Because if they don't have anything better to do than to judge my arms, is that their problem or mine? God made me to be who he wanted me to be. And yes, I have some free will and I'm going to start using it. But what I am going to change is my perceptions of myself so that I can help guide and change the perceptions of my children, when we're going to do it all with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. As I embark on this journey, I'm going to take whoever with me that wants to follow and be inspired, because that's all it is. And part of my healing process is letting go of my body image issues. Stop worrying about it. Understanding what kind of chemical reactions happen in my body every time I go in my closet and I change clothes 8 times because my stomach is being revealed through my pants. Freda, put those pants on and work towards shrinking your stomach one day at a time. Affirm your body. I'm going to start affirming my body. My body is not going to be beautiful to most people, but it shouldn't be. It's not their body. It is beautiful to me. And what I'm going to say is this belly here. What is this? This is showing my body working like it should work. Whatever I'm putting in, my body is trying to take it away from my organs in the form of fat. And that's how I'm going to look at it from now on. My body is trying to protect my organs so that I can keep living. But today, I'm going to start helping my body protect my organs so I can keep living. Because one thing about when I went on that fast, I stopped eating meat. I was eating fruits and vegetables, and I did a cleanse. I ain't had no inflammation. I didn't feel no arthritis. I didn't feel no pain. I was running up and down my stairs. She coming back. And she gonna come back for good. My goal is to make changes for good. And I'm gonna start with being positive about myself and my outlook on my body and my outlook on life. And while I'm doing that, my daughter's gonna benefit from it, because as I become more active and I'm out riding my bike, guess what? She got to come with me, her and the dog. She's going to get more sunlight, because that's a whole nother video. She's going to stop eating this sugar. I'm going to stop pulling up in McDonald's. I've already stopped pulling up McDonald's, even before the DEI issue. We haven't been to McDonald's this year. Maybe one, I think once. But my daughter is the McChicken and small fry queen. She get out of bed at 9 at night, the chicken small fry. Oh, and a Coke sometimes. My goal is to be to the point where I don't want to put that in my body, because I love my body and my body doesn't love that. That's where I'm headed. I love my body the way it is right now too. I'm going to love it even more when it goes like this. Who cares? I'm going to get these jokers down too. But right now, these are my arms. And I love them because they're part of me. I hope 1 million people see my fat arms. And my fat belly. And I don't care. See, the surgery scars. You see those surgery scars, usually somebody didn't have some kind of weight loss surgery. I don't care who's in the comments with their negative stuff to say, because clearly they got to heal too. If you see something negative in the comments, do me a favor, scroll past it. Don't give it no life. But let it sit there so people can see how evil and how mean others can be. But you don't engage in that. Looking at those negative comments and ignoring them and saying, it's part of my process and part of my healing, and not giving a damn what other people think about me. So I welcome them all. Probably won't even read them. That is the place where I want anybody that's watching this to be. I don't care what it is that you're battling. Lay that crap on the altar. Let it go. I'm about to lay my fat arms and my body image on the altar. Jesus, take those negative thoughts away from me and bury them in the deepest pits of hell. Because I am more than my arms and my body fat. And I love me. And through all this, I do love me. I have pretty high self-worth overall. But I don't love my body, and I haven't loved my body since I was 10. I haven't loved my body since this stranger groped my breast in the mall, which I never told anybody about. That came out during therapy too, because I was about that age, and that could be what triggered my body issues. You might want to call it dysmorphia. I don't know what you call it. But that could be about where it started, because before that day, I don't remember caring about a kneecap, a breast, a arm, or anything. But I remember my hair, and I remember when I had a curl growing up, when I remember when my mom got rid of the curl and gave me the Anita Baker hairdo. And I used to wear hats when my hair wasn't done. And I was around 10 years old. So I know all of this happened around the same age based on that. I never thought it was traumatic enough to even mention or think about, because I just don't think about it. And that's why I say my childhood may have drama and not trauma, because it's nothing that I ever thought really caused a big problem in my life. But through therapy, I've realized that, yeah, it could have. And the fact that my mother was in the mall with me and my little brother, we were in the arcade, Evergreen Plaza, never forget it. And this man, honestly, I perceived him at the time to look like he was special needs, but he was an adult. And he just walked up to me and just groped my breast, like just groped me. And I didn't tell my little brother, and I didn't tell my mom. But I remember the feeling of just discomfort and this ugh after that happened. Don't know why I didn't tell my mom, because my mom probably would have towed the building up. She probably would have had security running every camera she could. But for some reason, I didn't tell her. And that incident, I guess, has caused, here I go minimizing, maybe it is trauma. Because also I hate my breasts. But my breasts are really huge, you know. But yeah. This is my first video I'm posting about my body issues. I'm just going to blindly post it on my YouTube page. If it gets a view, great. If it don't, it don't. But I gotta do this for my own healing. And I hate that word healing, but that's what it is. Like, I gotta get rid of these issues I have with my body. And maybe that will help me get rid of the issues I have with food. My therapist, her name is Deirdre. She's got me doing some what she call inner child healing. And she wants me to work on just going back to when I was 10 and things that I like to do, like playing with dolls. Just take a little time and do some of those things to try to heal those issues I have in my childhood, whatever they may be, including the traumatic touching, groping, which she called molestation. I guess that's a form. I'm not that very versed on any of that. I've researched it. But, and I ordered a doll off of targetfast.org, because we're not supporting the DEI companies right now, the companies that change their DEI policies. And I found a Black doll maker who actually, her dolls are in Target, but I was able to order from her website. So targetfast.org has a lot of different Black businesses in there. And one day I'm going to be in there too with my t-shirt company, my wine shop. Yeah, I'm speaking things into existence. But I ordered, yeah, one of those dials, so I can't wait to share how how that will help me in my process of just understanding the relationship between my body and positivity, so that I clear out these negative thoughts and permanently change my life and my health. And then in turn, my daughter will benefit from that. Just like the old, everybody always references when you're on the airplane and they're telling you how to put the mask on yourself first, then your child. Because if I pass out, then my child, you know. So I'm putting on my oxygen mask. January 6th, 2025. Reverend Felder, Ayanna Harris are helping me change my life. February 6, 2026, I hope to see a whole different version of me. But I'm going to document the journey along the way. And I'm going to document everything from career, because that's on the altar, what I end up doing with my career, how my kids fare out, my finances, my t-shirt business, any other businesses I create, giving. You got to give, people, if you're going to receive. You output versus input. You got to. As I align all of those things in my own personal trifecta of mind, body, and spirit, I'm about to put these puzzle pieces together. And hopefully someone else is inspired to connect their dots too. With that, you could have been doing anything, but you sitting here listening to me. And I want to say thank you. Like and subscribe to Freda Lynette. Follow me on my journey as I learn how to heal myself and save my children's souls and the souls of others, because I am going to work hard to do what I'm doing for myself and my kids, for anybody that wants to help. So like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. I love you, and Jesus does too.